Commentators called it a training run. Did you get anything more out of that game than a training run?
No, I think we got a little bit of tackle and practice in the second half, but yeah, it was just like, the start of the game. I don't think I've ever seen a game like that, or certainly haven't been in a game involved like that. Like, just everything went right for us, and everything that could go wrong for them went wrong for them, so obviously it settled down a little bit in the second half, but yeah, I'm not quite sure how to describe it, to be quite honest. It was, as I said, it was just, everything bounced our way and everything bounced away from the Tigers, and then all of a sudden it was 30-0 after 20 minutes or something, which is ridiculous, but that's just the way it was.
There was obviously an intent there, Craig, to throw the ball around. It was Harlan Globetrotters-like stuff. I mean, you spread it immediately, the footy, so there was an intent on your behalf to really just go for it. Yeah,
well, probably, we had the wind in the first half as well, and we just wanted to make a little bit of use of it, and probably go down their edges a bit. That was sort of part of the plan, but like a couple of those offloads or passes, whatever you like to call them, sort of hit the ground and they bounced up to us, whereas some other days they bounce into the opposition's end, So, like I say, it was probably typical of the Tigers' day when I think it was young Laurie come out there off his try line and just dropped a cold, and we scored off that, I think, when Rumour scored. So, yeah, I thought that just about summed up the night, to be quite honest. As I said, it just went right for us and nothing went right for them.
Hughes' influence in this team, people always speak about Nathan Cleary, but his influence in this team and his direction is something else, isn't it?
No, without a doubt. We certainly appreciate the importance of him to our team. I don't know whether, obviously you do now, but I don't know whether a lot of others see how important he is to our team. We obviously realise that. He's been playing that sort of footy for 18 months, and he's certainly gone to, I believe, another level this year. And like I say, he's when you come into the team, he's certainly a talented ball runner. There's no doubt about that. But just his know-how now and his skill, his kicking game, he's worked really hard on that. So yeah, he's. I'm not quite sure you compare him to Nathan. I think that they got some similarities, but I think they got some differences as well. But he's certainly one of the form halfbacks in the competition at the moment.
There's a spot open with Jake Travojevic injured. Craig, Dale Finucane, he tried to bash the door down tonight to get back in that team. What do you make of his performance? He couldn't have done any more, I don't suppose, than what he did tonight.
I reckon the last 4 years, after the first Origin, one of you guys have asked me that question, and you're asking me again tonight, and I couldn't think of a better player than Dale to be going in there. I was, and this is not being critical because New South Wales, have got some really good players in that position, but I thought he was very unlucky not to be there originally. But like I say, everyone knows what I think of Dale Finucane, and certainly, this year, if anything, he's gone to greater heights in my eyes. So any sort of rep team that gets picked and he's eligible for, I'd be picking him in.
You played Christian through the whole second half there. Was that purposeful?
Probably wasn't. He was very keen to play some time because he was he hadn't played a lot of footy. I think that 12 minutes he had in Origin was about the only minutes he'd played in a month. So he was really keen to play as long as he could last night. I didn't want to start him. I was very keen to stay him off the bench, and he was happy enough with that. I probably intended to get him off 15, 20 minutes before, 10 or 15 minutes before the end if everything went okay. It didn't. I think we only had one left on the bench at the end. It was an unbelievable game in how it went points-wise, but I can't remember the last time we ran out of players on our bench, and then we had obviously a guy in the bin as well. So
It looked like he was struggling with about 10 or 12 to
he
go.
was, but he's just got this. He had this idea in his head, and it makes a bit of sense. He just wanted to get a little bit more time, or as much time as he could under his belt, and he'll feel a bit more confident about playing Origin tomorrow week.
Tom Eisenhuth's elbow.
Yeah, he's dislocated, so I had a couple of those in my career. I know how painful they are. And he's under a fair bit of pain in there at the moment. He's going to go to hospital and obviously get it put back in. But it's a nasty injury, and he hasn't had a great week, Tommy, in a couple of personal circumstances either. So it's really feel for him at the moment. I know what sort of pain he's going through.
All the Origin players come through unscathed. Craig, they appeared to.
Yeah, Harry, we just bought him off at the end there. He played a lot of minutes in Origin, but he hadn't played, that much for us over the last few weeks. So, again, Harry's fit enough to play a real strong 80 minutes, but we just thought we'd get him off towards the end there and, just make sure he's 100% for Origin, tomorrow week.
Brandon's walk calf seems minor, but what about Remus and the ankle? Could that become a 4 to 6 week nasty one?
Yeah, it looked like when he come off, that look on his face that this is bad, but he was just telling me in there now he doesn't seem to think it's that bad. He might miss 1 or 2 games, but I don't think it's quite as bad as what we thought when he was down in the corner there. So so like I say, it was a strange night, with the amount of points we scored, but how many injuries we got, But again, this is a pretty resilient group, and we'll find someone to take his place if we need someone to take his place. And but just to answer the question there, Matt, I don't think it's as bad as what they first thought.
Craig, it's another home game. We're away from Melbourne. That sort of result gives our members in Melbourne a real shot in the arm, seeing that sort of performance.
Yeah, obviously, I think we were saying, last year about, we really feel for our fans in Melbourne. They're not getting an opportunity to watch us live, and hopefully they're getting some enjoyment out of, what the team have done this year, and I'm sure they have. And if everything goes to according to plan, this will be our last game up here, and then our next home game, hopefully will be in Melbourne, especially for their sake. So. We really, admire their resilience, our fans in Melbourne, in that, they've continued to follow us all last year, even though they couldn't go and watch us live, and they haven't sort of watched us whole week this year either. So hopefully for them, we'll be back there soon.
Do you still feel that you're finding a way to juggle the hookers there? Your Brandon and Harry have different strengths. Is it week to week how often they play?
Again, it hasn't really been an issue, to be quite honest, because of Harry being injured, and Brandon doing such a good job there when Harry was injured. So we've stuck to that, I suppose, that procedure we're going through with Brandon starting and then Harry coming off the bench. We'd certainly like to change that around a little bit every now and then, whether Brandon starts off the bench if Harry starts at dummy half, or Brandon actually starts in the ruck. Brandon can do a great job in either, as we've seen the last month. His form the last month has been outstanding. So again, as I said, we haven't really had that opportunity to experiment a whole heap with both of them being available to play at the moment because of Harry's injuries, and obviously he's playing Origin now as well. So, but hopefully they'll both stay fit and well, and after Origin, we'll just work out what works for them, but what works for the team, and then go from there.